Emergency crews were racing Tuesday morning to stabilize several dams outside Columbia, South Carolina, in an effort to keep rising waters from rushing through the area in what is threatening to be another potential disaster on top of the state's historic flooding. More than a dozen dams have burst across the state. Some of the breaches forced officials to evacuate neighborhoods east of Columbia from the rushing water. A solid week of rainfall has sent nearly 1,000 people to shelters, and left about 40,000 without drinkable water. South Carolina's geography and battered infrastructure left several towns and cities like islands after roads washed out and creeks topped bridges. Richland County authorities told local news outlets an 82-year-old man who had been missing was found dead in his vehicle Monday. Richland County Sheriff's Lieutenant Curtis Wilson says the man's car had been underwater north of downtown Columbia. So far, the State Department of Public Safety says there have been 11 weather-related deaths in South Carolina. 2 other deaths in North Carolina have been blamed on the storm. As many as 40,000 homes have no water service, and those with service have been told to boil the water for at least 1 minute before using it for drinking or cooking. Columbia Mayor Steve Benjamin says that order is likely to be in effect for quite some time. John Shelton of the U.S. Geological Survey says flooding can be a concern for any urban area, with an abundance of concrete covering soil that would otherwise act as a sponge. But the multitude of waterways in Columbia also makes the city a prime target, as the rainwater flowing toward a creek or river gets waylaid on roadways. The fact is that we're getting 6 months' worth of rain in 2 days that's falling in an urbanized area, Shelton said. This was kind of the perfect storm. The State Department of Transportation said nearly 500 roads and bridges were still closed Tuesday morning. Many of those were in the Columbia area, which registered record rainfall this week. The 90-mile stretch of Interstate 95 was still closed between Interstates 20 and 26 due to flooding and overall poor road conditions. Officials are warning residents not to try to drive through or around standing water and debris that have covered many roadways.